Hello, and welcome to Circuit Stream's Unity Bootcamp launch event. I hope you're all doing well today. Before I do continue on, I want to make sure with the chat here, can you all hear me and see me? Give me some yeses, thumbs up in the chat. I see yeses all around. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Super excited to be here today hosting this event alongside some very special guests joining me today. We'll be discussing the Unity Bootcamp launch on October 11th. And briefly, this bootcamp is career focused and really preparing you for the 3D development industry. Now, I love asking this question on all the webinars we host. Where are you tuning in from? Let me know in the chat where you're currently tuning in from. I myself am in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I see Ariel in New York, Victoria and Toronto. Ooh, the chat is flying. Vancouver, US, Calgary as well. Lots of Vancouver folks. Georgia, welcome. Chicago, Halifax, Seattle, Illinois, South Carolina, I believe, Kelowna. So lots of North Americans here in the audience today. India as well. Welcome, India. Some international folks joining us too. Now, again, today, we're going to take about an hour or so to go over the Unity Bootcamp, really to give you more information about the course and program, share some stories with you all today, and see if this is something that you'd like to pursue in the future or for our upcoming cohort. Now, before I do continue on, just to let some more people join in and tune in, I'll share a quick little video just highlighting the bootcamp itself, and then we'll kick off this presentation here. So let me just pull it up here, and I believe the video is about a minute or so long. So as soon as that's wrapped up, we'll get with the introductions and roll in.
Do you know what's the best way to get a tech career this year? Or get the skills you need to boost your salary by 20K? CircuitStream's Unity Developer Bootcamp is an intensive, live, online pathway that prepares you for a successful career in 3D development. But why 3D? Real-time 3D is one of the most in-demand tech skills and has a high forecasted growth rate, over 70% in the next 10 years. By learning 3D skills, you're opening up career opportunities in game design, 3D visualizations, software development, and many more. Our bootcamp teaches you the basics of 3D development, C# coding logic, how to program and build applications, and other industry standard practices. By the end of this course, you'll have a portfolio of 10 projects, plus your own original idea that you design and develop yourself. You'll also get live workshops, one-on-one career support, industry standard mentorship, networking opportunities, daily office hours, and a student project showcase. Our alumni go on to work at the best brands and companies in the world.
I came into CircuitStream with absolutely no background or experience in Unity.
I came to the program as an older learner without any prior experience.
With CircuitStream on my side, I always had somebody I could ask.
The teacher was phenomenal, and I had actually looked into the teacher's work beforehand.
Everybody's just amazing, and all are willing to help you in your project and whatever questions you may have.
I was getting to work with a very talented and expert VR developer to solve problems that were very challenging.
Hands-on with a lot of creation in Unity to create virtual spaces.
Format and the method of delivering the content, which is a lot in a short period of time, was really well thought out.
Are you ready to build for the future? Apply now.
Perfect. Sorry, I was muted there. Right on. Hope you all kind of got a glimpse of, what to expect with this bootcamp here. But let's kick it off. Let's continue. As you all see, there is a chat there to the right. So feel free to chat amongst yourselves, network, whatever it may be. At the bottom, there's a little navigation panel, and there is a questions tab. So if you have any questions, do toss them into the questions tab. It'll help us kind of organize it, see what we haven't answered, and we will have a Q&A session at the very end of this webinar. And then there's a polls tab as well. So, we'll toss in polls throughout the webinar just to, gauge the experience and interest of you folks joining us. So feel free to go there right now. I'm going to toss in a poll just so you can get familiar with it. Now, out of curiosity, how much Unity experience do you have on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 being, completely new to it, 10 being an expert. But for myself, my name is Stefan Licina. I lead partnerships here at CircuitStream. I've been in the space for about 3-4 years now, and really excited to help build relationships with learners as well as enterprises and universities. And today, it's an honor and a pleasure to have some special guests join us as well. We have Daryl from Unity. He is the Director of Central Engineering Accelerate Solutions, as well as Thomas, the Spatial Computing Cloud Advocate Lead coming from Microsoft. Monday, one of our alumni, a Senior Production Engineer at Bungie, and our Director of Education here at CircuitStream, Jerry Medeiros. Now, today, just to give you the agenda and breakdown, this should take about an hour or so, depending on the Q&A session at the end. So I'll do a quick introduction to, who is CircuitStream, what do we do, and that'll take about 5 minutes or so. Then Daryl will join me on stage to discuss some job opportunities and share his insights and experiences with you all. Following that, we'll have Thomas join me on stage to touch on the industry as well as some career paths. And then we'll really dive into that Unity Bootcamp with our Director of Education, Jerry. So Jerry will go over, the approach, what's covered in the program, the outcomes, and, a lot more information there as well. Following that, Monday will join me. He'll share his story and journey with you all, a project that he's built in the bootcamp that launched earlier this year. And then I'll wrap things up with the scholarship that we're offering for all of you joining us here today, as well as next steps if this is something you're interested in pursuing. So again, we do have the CircuitStream Creator Scholarship. We're excited to share our scholarship with everyone who attends this full event. If you are interested, speak to an enrollment advisor by September 15th to receive the scholarship when you do enroll and register for the course. And for more information on the bootcamp, registration, scholarship, and anything else, we will be sending an email afterwards, after this webinar, which will include a link to speak to your admissions advisor. So a little bit about CircuitStream. We were founded in 2015 when we noticed a gap. When everyone was really hyped up to build these experiences, there wasn't really a way to learn how to build, projects, simulations, games, and whatnot. And ever since 2015, we've been focused on education, and we've had the pleasure to reach over 45,000 learners since then. And CircuitStream maintains some of the highest certifications available. We are Unity training partners and channel partners, and our team and instructors hold the following certifications you see on screen: expert programmers, professional programmers, as well as certified instructors. Now, CircuitStream is also one of the only educational kind of providers out there that offers badges and micro-credentials like the one you see here. And we also worked with Unity to co-create the Certified Associate Programmer. So if you're looking to get certified there afterwards, this is something that we helped build up and that we'd be more than happy to help you learn and get that certification as well. Now, CircuitStream works with some of the most forward-thinking universities and educational institutions out there. And our university partners here that you see on screen are at the leading edge of technology, and all are committed to offering the best online instruction in rapidly expanding areas, such as the use of immersive technologies in key industries like healthcare, manufacturing, and transportation. And the Unity Developer Bootcamp will be offered at these universities across North America through this partner network. So you all and any learners out there can begin the application process with your preferred university now, with the view to starting your education and course this October 2022. And I'm absolutely thrilled, and the team is absolutely thrilled that our partners have approved this course and its curriculum. And it just shows that the partners are committed to staying at the front of immersive technology and are providing their students with the best in-class XR and 3D education opportunities. Now, just to share some successful outcomes, we've had the pleasure to teach people from all walks of life, and here I'd like to show you some of the success stories as well. Our students have gone on to work with some of the most innovative companies out there, and now we are bringing this to scale with our bootcamp. And for instance, Andrew Alderetti that you see on the screen there came in as a beginner, and his time at CircuitStream, he developed several projects ranging from abstract visual environments with shaders to a spaceship shooter game as well, and even experimented with virtual concert environments inspired by Harry Potter as well. Now, Unity is the most widely used 3D engine on the market, and its impact is global. There are 5 billion downloads per month of apps that are built with Unity, 190 plus countries and territories that have Unity creators in it. Over 50% of games across mobile, PC, and consoles were made with Unity, and 71% of the top 1,000 mobile games were made with Unity as well. And with the 24 million jobs worldwide that are expected to use this tech for training, collaboration, and new digital experiences, as well as talent shortages of digital skills that's going to cost the US, I believe it was 8.5 trillion by 2030. That's why we focused on teaching this engine here, Unity, to help solve these challenges and to make the world a better place with more creators in it. Now, this is one of the reasons why we've put together the Unity Bootcamp, an intensive 24-week live online bootcamp to prepare you for a successful career in virtual reality development, augmented reality development, and 3D development. Now, we'll cover the program and outcomes deeper and later on, but we've made sure to focus on 4 key skills: technical skills, collaboration skills, team skills, and soft skills, the main components for being a successful Unity developer for various jobs and careers out there in almost any industry. And rather than me telling you about the job opportunities and careers out there, I'm super thrilled. And again, it's a pleasure and honor to invite Daryl here on stage with me right now to share his insights and experiences with you all. Daryl, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me. Super happy to be here.
Daryl, you're someone who's been in this space for a long time, and I'd love to have you just briefly share a little bit more about yourself, and then we could kick it off with some insights for the audience.
Sure. Yeah, my name's Daryl, and like you said, I'm a director in the Accelerate Solutions group at Unity. My department's focus is on actually using Unity to build things for a whole bunch of different industries on pretty much every platform that Unity deploys to. I'm a software developer by trade, so while I don't really get to code anymore, I've actually built and shipped things on all of those platforms for desktop, web, mobile, including XR technologies like HoloLens, Google Tango, and MetaQuest 2.
Right on, perfect. And as one of the directors at Unity and someone who helps with talent, why do you think technical, collaborative, team, and soft skills that are covered in the bootcamp of value for a successful Unity development career?
They're extremely important. So pretty much every Unity production is inherently cross-disciplinary and collaborative. So you need designers, 3D artists, technical artists, project managers, and obviously software developers. And the software developers on that team really form the bedrock, the foundation that unlocks the capabilities of all of those other skill sets. So being able to work with people from a diverse set of backgrounds, diverse set of skill sets is extremely important for the success of any Unity project.
That makes sense. And where do you see some job opportunities out there that may open up with these Unity developer skills out there?
So it's interesting, working in professional services, I've seen just an increasing prevalence of real-time 3D technologies in pretty much every industry that we've worked in. Sorry, what was the question?
Just out of curiosity, job opportunities that might open up with these types of skills out there.
Yeah. So because real-time 3D is increasing in prevalence. There's that angle of it. And I think Unity is sort of uniquely positioned because of its focus on C# as a software developer language. I think it makes it fairly approachable for new developers, and also for industries that also maybe have C# .NET developers. It's really easy for them to transition into 3D careers.
That makes sense. And what kind of, if from your perspective, what makes a successful candidate in your eyes? Was coachable one of them? Any other things that might help for these aspiring developers out there?
Yeah, really, the types of people that I look for, people who are, one, coachable, like you mentioned, people who are curious, people who are really interested in learning about new technologies. So in professional services, we're always walking into an environment that we might not have seen before, walking into unknown problems, unknown industries, and really just being kind of a sponge and being willing to learn and soak up everything around you is extremely important. But those foundational technical skills are really important too. So being able to apply those fundamental software engineering principles to solve unknown problems is really important.
Perfect. That makes sense. And if you had any final remarks for those who are potentially interested in becoming a Unity developer, any recommendations or tips for the folks out there?
Yeah, just keep soaking it up. I think those fundamentals are really important. So understanding on the technical side, performance and the implications of doing things in different ways, but really being able to be part of a team of a diverse set of skill sets is extremely important.
Love it. Love it. Well, Daryl, really appreciate your time here today. Thanks for joining us. I know you're a busy man doing a lot of different projects out there, but if there's ever anything that we could support you with, or we'd love to have you back, if the audience has any questions for you afterwards, because I know you can't stick to the end, we'll be sure to send those over to you.
Yeah, I'd love to get those questions and stay engaged. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Daryl. Have a great day today, and we'll see you again soon.
You too. Take care.
Bye. Perfect. Awesome. And with that, that was Daryl Hawkins, the Director of Central Engineering with Unity there. And for kind of what the industry looks like, because we talked about the skills and potential job opportunities, I would like to invite Thomas Lewis onto the stage now with myself, a leader in this space with over 20 years of experience in a variety of roles and geographies, to share more about himself and where he sees the industry heading and potential career paths that open up with these skills as well. Thomas, how's it going?
It's going well. How about yourself?
Very well, thank you. Very well. It's great to see you again.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. This is great.
Of course, anytime, Thomas. So as I kind of mentioned here, you've got a breadth of experience, a wealth of experience, and working with a variety of roles and geographies. Would love to hear more about where you see this industry heading. I know there's a lot of great potential out there. I'd say this is just the tip of the iceberg, but what are your insights on where this is heading, and what people could look forward to if they are pursuing a development career?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great time to jump into this ecosystem. I tell people we're sort of on the precipice of a very big thing that is happening. We actually did a study with the McKinsey Group. And we, analyzed the market, right? Because Microsoft in its size, and this is with pretty much any big company, they can't do all the things, right? So what they do is I always tell people, like, if you're looking at invest where big companies are going to spend a lot of their time and money, because they can't make an investment unless they think that there's going to be a return, very much like, startups as well. And so seeing that everyone is being a part of this, right? From everybody from, Unity to us, to our friends at, Apple, they're going to be coming out with stuff. Our friends at Magic Leap are doing great stuff out of Florida with new devices and things like that. It's just going to get bigger and bigger, right? And especially now that we're using sort of metaverse as a North Star for what we do, it's incredible where folks who are coming out of the woodwork, so to speak, to figure out like, hey, how do we do things? So like NVIDIA, for example, most people are like, well, I don't think of them as a XR company, but they're doing amazing stuff. Qualcomm, right? They just released their Snapdragon Spaces or previews of it. And so people are able to do a lot of great things. And so I'm excited about it because, well, number one is, again, back to this McKinsey report, they think of by 2025, the enterprise space is going to be a $64 billion industry, right? Which, again, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be compounded as we get more into like social and entertainment, right? So the way that they think of it is productivity and collaboration is about 20 billion. Enterprise tasks and processes are going to be about 44 billion. And that's kind of where a lot of folks are focusing today, because let's be honest, that's where the money is. But as we move towards social and entertainment, we're going to see that grow an extra 80 billion, right? So we're now starting to talk about significant amount of growth that's going to happen in this space. So the potential is very huge, right? And this is something that's going across industry. So right now, I would say, like, if you look at education and manufacturing and medical, that's kind of the industries that most people are kind of focusing in on right now. But the things you can do in many, many other industries, the work that's going to happen through this boot camp is like in preparation for that type of thing.
Right, definitely. And seeing that we cover a lot of different things in the boot camp, from programming, career support within it. And I mentioned earlier, we've got the the team skills, the collaboration, soft and technical skills. Where do you see different career paths opening up with these type of skills and Unity development skills?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts off with like a lot of things where it's going to be very developer centric, right? Because that's just kind of where our minds go to, right? But where I really think that it's going to sort of grow and expand next is in design. I think that there's a lot of folks who have design backgrounds or are interested in design. There's a lot for them to do. I always tell people what was very interesting is when Mark Zuckerberg talked about the metaverse. One of the first people he brought on was a creator. And I think a lot of people were sort of like, what, influencer, what? But these are folks who are really driving a lot of the industry. And so this creator is going to be the person that is going to be the one that people are going to look to, like, hey, let's send them a lot of money to do these interesting things, because I don't think we're going to be sort of, kind of pigeonholed into a particular type of career. I think there's going to be various different types of careers that will exist. I remember, like, when I started way long ago, I won't say how long, but when I first started, I was like, okay, I have to be a developer, right? Because I had a comp sci / business background from a university at the time. And I was like, okay, I can only be a developer. And then, sure enough, I found this, developer advocate role. And I was like, wait a minute, I never heard of this. What is this? So there's going to be a plethora of different roles that will exist. I don't think that it's just going to be developer or just designer. I think it's going to expand, and we're going to kind of find like, oh, there's these 3D problems that we're going to be able to solve with things like Unity. Because let's be honest, the human being is a 3D creature. We see in 3D. We now have this cognitive overload of us constantly going, we got to go from 3D to 2D because we're looking at these magic screens, and then back to 3D again when it hits our brain cortex. Now what's going to happen is there's going to be ways that kids are going to learn. And I've started talking to some universities where some folks are going to learn, at learning institutions that, wow, I can actually think about things in a 3D way. And that's why I think it's so important to have boot camps like this, because one, you need that team-based work together, right? Because that's incredibly important. I tell people, most of the problems that you're going to deal with in life and in career don't have to do with technology. You can write enough code to get around anything, in my opinion. it's going to be working with other people. And then the second thing is having a tool set that you understand that you can apply to a lot of different things is highly, highly valuable, right? So those folks who are learning that, are learning Figma, learning Blender, those are the folks that are really going to have kind of a leg up on folks. And so that's why I just really think that, like, understanding Unity, working in Unity is a very important skill to have, and it's something that we look at, right? Like when we interview people, we ask, like, hey, what's your, have you used Unity? How deep have you used Unity? What are projects that you've worked on, right? And those are the things that they're going to get, like in this particular bootcamp, which I really, really appreciate.
No, thanks for sharing, Thomas. And as you were kind of saying, right, there's roles out, I mean, not out there, but roles that haven't even been created yet, right? That we would potentially look forward to. And just to kind of wrap things up, any final remarks, tips, or recommendations for aspiring developers out there that might be interested in pursuing this?
Yeah, Satya Nadella, who is our CEO, he has been espousing this concept of being a learn-it-all. So he will say that Microsoft used to be a bunch of know-it-alls, and I agree. Like, a Microsoft person will tell you everything there is to know about everything, even if they don't have the expertise. What he did was he changed it, and he said, you know what? Instead of trying to know it all, let's try to learn as much as we can. And this is a space where we are continuing to learn. So the thing is, what you learn today is going to give you the foundation to learn those other things as they come. And it's going to be like astrophysicists. Astrophysicists believe what they believe until they're told otherwise. And they don't go, well, gosh, this was wrong. They just go, yeah, at the time we didn't know. And so there's going to be 3D interactions that we're going to not even have thought of, right? That someone in this boot camp will think of. And so think of it from a learn it all perspective, not a, hey, I'm going to learn everything and then now I know it all. Is if you have that constant thirst to learn, you're going to do really, really well in this industry because we're still building things, right? So the metaverse isn't today, it's a North Star, but we're getting there.
Agreed. I really, appreciate you joining us here today, Thomas. If we do get any questions for you, I'll be sure to shoot them over your way.
Absolutely.
But it's always a pleasure and an honor to have you join us, Thomas. Thank you for your time. And again, if there's anything that does come our way to shoot over to you, I'll be sure to do that.
Awesome. All right. Well, and tell everyone on this call, please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn. Glad to have conversations with you.
Awesome. Thanks again, Thomas. Have a wonderful day today.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thomas Lewis, always a gem. Thank you, Thomas, for sharing that. With this, let's dive into the bootcamp, right? We talked about some potential job opportunities and careers, where the industry is going, where we're kind of at the moment, and the potential. Now I'd like to share a little bit more about the Unity Bootcamp itself, a 24-week live and online course to prepare anyone for a successful career in 3D development. And with this, I would like to bring on Jerry Medeiros onto the stage, our Director of Education here, to dive into the course, the approaches, how we've structured it, the outcomes as well. And then he'll join us at the end for the Q&A session too. So Jerry, awesome. How are you doing today? Thanks for joining.
Hello.
Doing well, thank you. Doing well. Jerry, did you want me to go through the slides or did you want to pop them and share your screen? No worries. Awesome, no worries. So Jerry, we'll go through the curriculum, the approaches, and whatnot here. Just want to make sure, Jerry, did we lose your audio? I think we're still. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Perfect. Perfect. So let's kick it off here, Jerry. If you could just kind of provide a little bit more information on the bootcamp itself, and then we'll dive into some other topics here as well. Interesting. I can't hear him either. Okay. I mean, yeah. Feel free to kind of. It's weird. Some can, some can't, cannot. Yeah. Feel free to hop off, maybe hop back on. No worries. Take your time, Jerry. Take your time. Let's check out the questions here. See if there's anything that I can help answer while we wait for Jerry. So I believe there was one question here around how much programming experience. So the bootcamp itself isn't completely beginner friendly. You do need some Unity, foundation and fundamentals. So we do suggest that if you are interested in this program, learn some Unity, some C# programming. That'll help you get an edge into the course and program. We do have an assessment we provide to be sure that you won't kind of fall behind. But Jerry, let's see if the audio works here.
Does it work?
Works for me.
Let's see. People that said it were not working. How about now? It works. I can hear. Perfect. I don't know awesome. What happened. All right, cool. So, so thanks for having me. Super happy to talk a little bit about the bootcamp. There are some really good questions in the questions tab. I will be back in the end to answer them. I answered a couple of the simple ones. I answered already. The complex ones, I think it makes more sense to answer live so everyone gets a little bit of that. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the structure of the bootcamp, and then I will dive a little bit into the content, the modules, what we learn in there. But just to start with, we consider this bootcamp a part-time program. So if you have another job or if you're doing something, you're transitioning, you can still take it. You're gonna need to be good at time management, and you can help with that, but anyone can take it. So the way it goes is 24 weeks of instruction. And you're gonna have 2 live sessions a week, 2.5 hours each. So basically that's the commitment that you need to be there during the week. And you need to organize yourself around time to study, do the assignments and whatnot. Throughout this program, you're gonna have access to career services that are dedicated. So you're gonna have one-on-ones with our career team, with our student services team. They're going to help you understanding where you are, where you want to get, what kinds of jobs you want, how you're transitioning. They're going to help you prepare for interviews. They're going to have workshops on making your LinkedIn pop up and how to do a killer resume, how to be invited for interviews, all that. So this is part of the program, and it helps a lot. We have people that didn't even complete the program and are getting jobs already, which is super cool. Everything in this program is project-based, and our assignments, the assignments you're gonna get every week, they're problem-based. So it's gonna help you to structure your critical thinking, your problem-solving skills. We're going to give you resources, but you need to get into there and collaborate with your peers. Oops, let me mute my notifications and solve them. So it gives you some experience with complex problems in there. You also have support from our instructors. So you have one-on-ones, technical one-on-ones and career one-on-ones. So say, for example, you're completely stuck, you're falling behind, there's something you didn't understand completely. You can jump into you can book with one of the instructors and talk to them. You have access to all of the instructors in the network. So if your question is more related to a specific topic, you can see their expertise and go there. We have designer instructors, we have technical development instructors. There's sort of talented people there that you have access to. If for some reason you need support and the instructor is not available at that specific time, you can go to the office hours. So we have office hours every day in different times. So you have opportunity to go to them. They are drop in, drop off. You go there, you chat with the instructor, you get the help you need, and then you go. And then last but not least, another component there is synchronous, is the weekly lab. So every Saturday, there is a 5 hours activity. It seems like a lot, but time flies there because it's a lot of cool content. So in those labs, we're going to bring industry experts as the one that were talking to us, like Thomas, for example. They're going to talk about specific things. You can ask them questions. It's more approachable. It's closer there. But that's not the only thing that happened there. We also have some workshops to work on specific skills, technical skills. We have hackathons, game jams, opportunities to collaborate and to create. And many of them are career related and soft skills related too. So you can work on your communication skills, on your creativity skills, and also on your own career, your portfolio. We have we invite people that are successful in the industry, that got nice jobs. They talk about their experience, how they got it, how they were interviewed, how they put the portfolio together. And then we have workshops on how you do the same things. So the labs are pretty useful. They're intense, but they provide lots of value and help you get what you need to find your job. So that's a little bit of the structure of the course. And then I think we can talk a little bit about the way we designed it. So basically, those are the main components that makes this course special. We have a very talented team of developers, instructional designers, instructors, student service coordinators, career coaches, lots of talented people behind this. But what we want everyone joining this course to learn is, of course, the technical skills and Unity. That's super important. But more than that, we want everyone to learn how to think as a developer, as a problem solver. So you're going to be exposed to different projects. If you want to work in the gaming industry, it could be a AAA game, it could be mobile game, or maybe it's going to be architecture, it's going to be visualization. There's so many things you can do with the skills you get in this course using Unity. But what's super important is that you know how to think critically. You know how to understand a problem, break that down, collaborate, and then solve that problem. So we're going to be focusing a lot on that, not only on the which buttons to press, what to download, but how to structure a problem and work on that. So to make that possible, all of the course is project-based. So every module is based on a real life use case scenario. Sometimes it's going to be games, sometimes it's going to be other types of visualization, but all of the instruction is done around how to build a project. So we have a concept, we have this project. What does it take to build it and to have it running, working? So every project, every module is project based. There are two good things about that. The first one is that you learn and then you know where it's applied and how to apply that to a project. That's basically what everyone's going to be doing in their careers. But the second thing is that you can get those projects and put them onto your portfolio. So you can modify them, you can add some twists in there, but they become part of your work. And you can go to an employer and say, hey, this is something I built in the bootcamp, but I was responsible for this and that. I modified this, I learned this. So it gives you an opportunity to showcase a practical hands-on work. And later on, you can build your own project the way you want, but we're going to talk about that. Another cool thing, we really believe that learning is a social activity. It's a collaboration activity. You don't learn alone. There are a bunch of people learning with you, and everyone learns in a different way, in a different pace. But when you collaborate, you learn better. So that's one of our strongest feature, in my opinion. We have a community, so everyone is supportive. You can talk to your peers. We have the ambassadors. We have alumni, people that finish the course. They're working on their own projects, getting advice. They can invite you to work on the projects with them. And you have lifetime access to this community. Even after the course, you're still part of the community. There are thousands of people there with different backgrounds. There are developers, 3D artists, sound designers. They are everywhere. They're working in different projects. So you can just chat with them and see where they succeed, where they failed, why, and share the experiences. And it's really nice to see that they build study groups sometimes. It's something that we didn't plan, and then they started getting together on a Sunday and say, hey, let's solve this problem. I'm working on this challenge. If someone wants to join and debate on that. So this makes the experience of learning a lot more meaningful, a lot more powerful. So you're not alone. You're always surrounded by amazing people that are in the same industry or trying to get into this industry. So this makes the experience a lot better too. And last but not least, it's focused on your professional, your own specific professional goals. So this course is for people that want to get a job in this area, or people that want to transition or want to get promoted. But it's related to the how to get a position in this industry. But the career support is going to be individualized. So in the beginning, the career team is going to get together with you and understand where you are, where you want to get, and help you craft a plan to get there with some checkpoints. So from the moment you join this course until the end, you're going to be supported by people that have done transitions before, that have helped thousands of people to get some jobs, and they're going to make sure you are successful there. So this is a big component. It's not only a technical course, but it's also a course that's going to prepare you to work in any teams, to talk to people, to collaborate, and to find a job and be successful in the job there. So those are the pillars of the experience of the course. Throughout that, we believe that there are many things you need to learn, of course, but we're focusing on the things that are going to help you succeed more quickly in this area. So there's a lot of technical concepts. Of course, if you want to become a developer, you need to be a good developer. You need to know coding, you need to know logic, you need to know data structures, optimization, all that. So we're going to be covering all of those things into the course associated with the projects. There's also a little bit about analysis, software engineering, like not only just okay, let me get coding and get this thing done, but how do I think about that in a way that others are going to understand? It's going to be maintainable, it's going to be scalable. So this is a skill that is very important when you're a professional developer. You need to make things work, but more than that, it needs to be sustainable. You need to make things in a way that everyone can interact with that you're not going to have thousands of bugs and it's going to break every time. So the more experienced you are, the more time you plan and you think about your code before you go writing the code. So we're gonna work on those two different things. One is how to write the code and solve the problems, but also how to architect a software in a way that it makes sense, it can grow, it can be maintained. We also touch a lot on agile principles, because from our experience, most of the companies in this industry, of course, all of them are going to use some kind of project management, but agile is very common. It's very frequent out there. So we're going to create an environment where you can learn agile, but not only in theory, but applying that. So we're going to go on how to read a requirement and break that into user stories and prioritize what should you do first and after, what's more important, what brings more value to the client, to the user, to the gamer, whoever is going to be interacting with that team. Of course, if you go into a company, if you are in a team, you're going to have an agile specialist, agile master, scrum master, someone leading this process, but you need to know how those things are done because you're going to be part of that. So there is a lot of agile development concepts out there too. There's this is a Unity Developer Bootcamp. So there's a heavy knowledge on Unity stuff. So how to use the main Unity APIs, many functionalities, create 3D, real-time 3D using Unity. So it's going to touch on camera, physics, input, multiplayer, networking, which is something everyone asks. It's a little bit more advanced. So in this course is the space we have to learn how to build a game or an application, a simulation that connects to a server, that has multiple users in the same environment, that saves data in a database. So using Unity for those things, it's a pretty cool part of the course as well. And it touches throughout the course in many different tools. So tools for repositories for your code, project management tools such as Jira, ClickUp, Trello. Some are simpler, some are more complex. We're going to debate those, when to use, and you're going to learn how to use most of them. And of course, Unity. And there are a couple other tools, but they're going to be just helping you get everything together, organized, communicated in a good way. So those are basically the main topics. They're going to be covered throughout the program while we're building the projects and learning with them. And then just to go a little bit over the modules, the timelines, how this course is, how it flows from simpler to more complex. So we start with a C# brush up, kind of. So in the beginning, we're going to review some concepts about C#, some strategies, and then expand the knowledge on more advanced C# concepts. So it goes over different ways of using the language, different architectures that you can use, specific things that Unity can do, scriptable objects, editor tools. So it really goes in depth in what's possible to do with C# in a nice project there. Then we jump into collaboration tools. So this is mostly about Git and GitHub, which is something that people usually are scared of, but everyone is going to use some kind of version control system out there. So we believe that everyone needs to be very fluent in those. So in these collaboration tools, we're going to talk about a couple of things, but more specifically Git and how to understand that beast and to navigate and use that pretty well in a Unity project, in other projects as well. So that's right in the beginning, so it can support everything else throughout the course. Then we have application development. This is a bulk of the course. It's a very big section of the course. This is where we're going to learn how to design and implement scalable applications in Unity. So we're going to learn a little bit about architecture, about design patterns, also about Unity features, physics, rendering. So in this one, we built a more complex, scalable project out there. Then we move into agile development, and I touched base on that, but it's going to talk about Scrum and ceremonies and prioritization and all that. So it's a little bit about project management, how to organize the work in a group of people, and decide what to do first, with some techniques that we present there. Then we get into the midterm project. The midterm project is kind of a company simulation or a studio simulation. That's the opportunity everyone has to work together. So here you're going to apply everything you learn up to this point in a real project with sprint planning, with sprint reviews, with daily meetings. So people are going to be organized in groups and they are going to be working on a project. They have a tight deadline and a lot of things to do. So they need to get smart around how they prioritize, what they do, what they don't do, what they simplify, how they groom the stories. So this is the opportunity everyone has to experience the day-to-day of a studio game company, any company that works using Unity every day. This is pretty cool. People come up with really interesting things. And then we move on to API integration in databases. So this is the portion where we're going to work on integrating external tools, external databases, servers, multiplayer plugins, how we can make our local application talk to the world in different ways. So this is very powerful. This is really, really important. It gives you a competitive advantage of people that are beginners, because usually beginners don't have experience with this. Like if you know someone that have been working with basic Unity here and there, if they go to a company that is more serious or bigger, let's say, that needs to collect analytics, or there's live ops, or they need to push data into a server, they don't know exactly how to do it. So that's what we learn in what we work on in this specific module. Then we go into debugging and optimization. That's self-explanatory, but basically, if you want your application to run in the devices with a high frame rate, you need to make sure things are good. So you're going to learn how to find problems, profile application to see if there are memory bottlenecks, how you can optimize your models, how to write more effective scripts, how to analyze the complexity of script, and things like that. And that's it. This closes the learning path in there. And then we move into the capstone project, where basically you can build wherever you want. Of course, there are some parameters. You need to meet them because this is graded, but you can come up with your idea. You can do that alone or in small groups, up to 3 people. But this is the opportunity you have to use all of the things you learn, plus the support you're going to have from the community and instructors to build your dream project. So you're going to work on whatever you want. It can be a game, it can be a VR, AR experience, it can be a simulation, it can be anything you can think of. And this is going to be your main piece of portfolio. You can go to anyone and say, hey, I conceptualized this, I thought about the ideas, I planned, I developed, I tested, and this is my baby. So it's basically the opportunity you have to be creative and have something done there. And then in the end of the course, a couple of weeks after the course is done, there is a pitch day, which is a big event, a celebration of everything you learn and done. We have hiring partners there, so you can pitch it to them. They can give you feedback. Maybe they can hire you, or you can get in contact with them. So it's basically the opportunity you have to showcase your learning, your project to the world. But yeah, I think that's it. Very briefly, shortly.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. I hope this helped everyone kind of see what's included in it, what you're kind of going to learn and come out with as well. And with that, Jerry, I'll invite you back on for the Q&A session at the end there. There are some questions in the questions tab if you wanted to get to them there. But I will toss in a quick poll here for those of you who, might be interested in learning more about the bootcamp itself and, having a friendly conversation with one of our admissions reps. I'm going to toss in a poll just to see if anyone is interested in speaking with a rep. That way, we could reach out and help answer any questions you have. But with that, again, thank you, Jerry. I do want to bring on Monday onto the stage, the man of the hour, a senior production engineer at Bungie and one of our ambassadors here at Circuit Stream. Monday has been with us since, it's been a while. But with this, we're going to talk about his journey and story, how he got interested in this technology, this field, his experiences in the courses and programs, the boot camps as well. And then we'll go into showing a project that he's built so you can see what is possible. So let me just check if Monday is still tuned in here. Monday. Yes, he is. Monday, so feel free. There's a little participate button at the bottom if you wanted to click that and join me on stage. Perfect. How are you, my man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Very well, thank you. Very well, Monday. Thanks for joining us here today. I know you've got work as well at Bungie to get to there, but I'm super excited to dig into your story and journey, your experiences, and hear more about any insights you can share. But to kick it off, Monday, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got interested in the space here.
Yeah. My name is Monday for everybody out there. Super memorable. Hopefully, I'm your favorite day of the week. If not, please just don't tell me. I'm sensitive. But yeah, I got started. I guess I should take a step back from that. So my background is not in computer science. I have never done a coding boot camp until I joined Circuit Stream's boot camp. I'm actually a biologist and a chemist. I did a lot of professional work in operations management, then got into process improvement management. So project management, Lean Six Sigma, all the corporate America fun stuff for those of us that do it. And really kind of like game development was one of those things that it was like, I always wanted to do it. And I had tried unsuccessfully multiple times at trying to learn Unity and Unreal by myself. And it became more frustrating than anything. And I think the algorithm on my phone was like listening to like one of my conversations with my wife and my friends, because all of a sudden Circuit Stream just like kept popping up everywhere I went. So like most people, I was kind of skeptical because there's so many different boot camps, so many different platforms. And so before I signed up for anything, I actually did one of the free workshops. So the first workshop I ever did with Circuit Stream was the build your own Pokemon Go app in AR.
Yep.
And it just blew my mind. Like being able to like finally create something when I had been like racking my brain for months trying to do it myself. And then being able to do it. And I believe Nakisa was the one that led that, and the way she just like broke down everything. And for those of us that know Nakisa, she's the pun queen. So she made it like fun and enjoyable. And at the end of it, like you had Pokemon Go. And we talked through like how you could incorporate your own monsters or your own catching and statistics and networking and multiplayer. And it was like I drank the Kool-Aid in that moment. So I've been through XR Dev with Circuit Stream and absorbed all the information. But it did take me about 3 weeks to realize that like learning C# is like learning a new language, and understanding that like I didn't learn Spanish from multiple years in high school, taking Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and almost Spanish 3, and really just putting in the time and the effort, but loved the XR Dev course. And so when the Unity Bootcamp course opened, I was kind of on the rocks, and it ended up coming down to like a lot of the connections that I made with like the XR Dev participants that they kind of talked me into it. And I'm so happy I did the boot camp. I'm learning a lot. To everything that Jerry was saying, the way they have it structured, the way how it's focused on development and optimization, and of course, like career development has just been great. And yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones that was able to take what I've learned as well as my past experience to get a job with Bungie. So now I'm living my dream a lot
Hey.
quicker than what I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, and congratulations on again on landing that role at Bungie Monday.
Thank you.
It was great to hear that that story of yours as well. Now, I do have a video that I'd like to share
Yeah.
of your midterm project from the boot camp. So I'll play it. You know, probably 30 seconds or so, a minute, and then would love to hear about why you wanted to create this project. It is Bungie-esque, and then we can wrap it up with some final remarks, recommendations, and I'll bring you back for the Q&A. So let me just pull that video up here. So this is actually Monday. Let me ask you, just to intro your project here quickly before I drop it in.
Yeah, so just quick intro. So this was the midterm project. So the challenge that we had was to take a tower defense Unity project that was about 60% done, and using agile methodology, team development, and collaboration, pretty much take a mobile game project. And what my team decided to do, like you were seeing the video, is we pretty much like took it apart and dissected it like surgeons and created a complete VR tower defense experience. That was a lot of fun to work on.
Perfect. Awesome. So I'll drop it in right here, and let's check it out. Amazing. That was awesome. Lots of people in the chat as well thought it was great. Monday, remind me, this was a team project, right? That you were collaborating on with.
Correct. So in the boot camp, one of the sections that we focus on is collaboration and project management, which is right at my wheelhouse. It's my cup of tea. And so me and 3 other students, am I allowed to name drop, I guess, before I say their names, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't see why not.
So it was me. It was a lady by the name of Kim Vergatini. Kim, if I mispronounced your last name, I'm sorry, but she was over UI UX elements. So a lot of the canvas panels that you've seen, she did. Sorry, I was over gameplay design. So you can't see it because we didn't pan down, but you're actually in a full body mech suit. It's kind of like Gundam Wing. If you look at yourself, you have like all the Gundam Wing aspects. Sebastian Gregor was over our world design. So we have one view where you like pan out, but it's like a tire, like cyberpunk city that he created. It was insane. And then Gene Ward was our engineer. So he did all of like the scripting, but pretty much we took all those pieces together and created something amazing. So it started off, like I was saying, as like a mobile point and click tower defense game. And we were pretty much like, that's not enough for us. And so we took some of the aspects of tower defense and some of the AI scripting that they had, and we're like, we are going to make a VR version of this. And so it was great. It was a lot of fun. It's something that we're still working on as well.
Amazing, amazing. Can't wait to see what that final project looks like Monday as well. And
Absolutely.
any final remarks, tips, recommendations for the aspiring developers out there?
Yeah. So I mean, I highly, highly, highly recommend this boot camp. I think even coming in and going through like the XR Dev course or the XR Design course, two other great courses that CircuitStream offers, what the boot camp is able to do, and especially now that I'm in like the AAA game industry, which still blows my mind, is it really does prepare you for that industry, for that mindset, for those tools. Being comfortable with Jira and Figma and all these different like scripting aspects, like SQL databases is such a huge thing. Like developing a game is more than just like prefabs and assets. Like knowing how to manage your databases, multiplayer optimization, debugging, and understanding debug logs is like crucial. And the bootcamp really does a good job focusing in on that, as well as personal branding. Like if you don't want to work for another company, you want to start your own studio. The labs that we do on the weekend really take a lot of time to help develop your personal brand across multiple social media platforms. So I actually started my own like personal Instagram page because I'm like, I'm not anti social media, but it's not my forte. But taking some tips from this has really been helpful in me getting like my own social media like up and going and a lot more robust.
Awesome. Monday, again, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'll get you back
Absolutely.
on for the Q&A session, but great work on that midterm project. And again, super excited to see what you build for the final one.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. See you soon. Perfect. So let me share the screen here again. I'm going to take 5 more minutes or so to wrap things up, and then we'll open it up for the Q&A session at the end here. I do see lots of questions in the questions tab that we need to get through. But Monday, thank you again. Always a pleasure to have you join us and to see your growth. With that, for those of you who might be interested in pursuing the Unity Bootcamp here, this is what the admissions process looks like. At first, you can reach out and apply. And with this, you would complete an application by providing some background information and prior experience. With that, you'll receive an entrance assessment to complete as well. This helps us see where you're at in terms of your Unity skills and programming, whether or not this is a good fit for yourself, or you might need some more time to build up, to that level. Again, it's not super beginner friendly. You do need a little bit of knowledge prior to getting into it, but the questions are based on Unity concepts. And out of the 20 questions, you'll have to get 10 correct to be able to move on to the next step, which is an interview. And this is a nice brief interview, 30 minutes with our student experience team, Luciana or Arki, just to have a chat, see what your goals are, what careers you're looking for, what industries you want to get into. That way we can really match your goals and interests to your needs and to the team that is working to build those relationships and career opportunities. Now, again, we do have this creator scholarship available for all of you who have tuned in today for our second cohort, the one that's on October 11th. This scholarship will be provided for a limited time. So if you're interested in taking advantage of this scholarship, speak to an admissions advisor by September 15th to be eligible. And by eligible, I mean to receive that $2,250 scholarship towards your bootcamp tuition. So essentially, you'll be saving the $2,250 from the total cost, which brings it down to $12,745 there. Now, I'm going to toss in a poll. For those of you who might be interested in learning more about the registration or speaking to an advisor about the scholarship, I just published the poll, so feel free to navigate to the polls tab. We can reach out to you by that date and have that friendly conversation, see if it's a good fit, answer any questions, and help you receive that scholarship there. Now, for the payment options as well, we want to provide as much flexibility as possible for those who are interested in diving into this. So we do have financing available with Climb Credit. This is for US citizens only. and they offer flexible payment plans and loans as low as $250 per month. And there's interest-only options during the program, so you won't need to make your first payment until the first month of the course there. Now, for those outside of the US, Canadians, UK, other Europeans, or further out west, we have our Circuit Stream payment plans available. So we offer 3-month payment plans for those who do want some flexibility as well. And these installments begin when the first payment is made on the date that you do register and enroll for the course and program. So again, we will be sending more information on the bootcamp, registration, scholarship, and more by email after this webinar and presentation, which will include a link to talk to your admissions advisor as well. So with that, I do want to bring in Jerry and Monday back onto the stage here for the Q&A session. I do see lots of questions that we need to get to here. So let's see, let's start with the oldest ones. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Monday. Thanks for joining again.
Hello.
Perfect. So this one's from Erica, and let's see. So let's go with the oldest one, Synergy with Azure, Ingo. So, Jerry, I'll throw this one at you. Ingo was asking, what is the significant differences between this course and, let's say, the XR development or design course?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the main difference, the most significant difference is the length. The XR Dev and the XR Design courses are 10 weeks long. So they're going to give you a really good understanding of the field, and you're going to be able to create some projects, but it's not going to make you a full professional developer. So the bootcamp is focused on people that are not only just exploring this, but they are super serious about this, and they want to make a transition, get a job. So it covers not only the technical aspects, but there are the career services and all that. Whereas the 10 weeks courses, they are more like an introduction. You're going to learn a lot. The one is focused on XR Dev, the other one is focused on XR Design, but the content is limited to that and what we can teach in 10 weeks. And it's a lot. But if you look 10 weeks and compare that with 6 months, it's a lot more. So with the bootcamp, you're going to be able to work with anything in Unity. So it could be XR, it could be medical simulation, as someone described there. It could be architecture, engineering, it could be games. So basically, it's a lot more intense, more in-depth. You become like a professional developer. You have the group experiences, the time management, the project management. So they have different depths. One is for people that are like exploring and want to get into VR, but it's the first step, the first mile. Whereas the bootcamp it's more, it goes longer down the road. Right. Oh, maybe Monday has like a perspective. I think you took XR Dev and then you took bootcamp. Maybe from your perspective, what do you think are the main differences?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 200% exactly what you said. I think XR Dev is more geared towards beginners. They take a lot of time to help, the learners understand like what is C# in its most basic core aspects, and like slowly building the project by incorporating more and more complex techniques, which is still great. I mean, me coming in with no knowledge, like I left there and I felt like I was wearing a cape that said developer. Like I felt really proud of myself. Whereas the boot camp with the initial assessment and just with like the time, it's good because it focuses less on like the basic concepts. It doesn't like gloss over it. So you're still time to understand like what is a prefab. But right after you learn what a prefab is, you learn about object pooling. So it automatically takes that next step to a more complex. And really what I like it as well is by doing that, you have more time to focus on the things that XR Dev doesn't cover, which is optimization, debugging, especially with multiplayer games. There's a whole section on like connection stability and how to understand like what that means. So I think it's a great, XR Dev is almost like a great segue for like a new beginner into the boot camp, but the boot camp is definitely like I mean it's you can feel that it's a step higher. Like the boot camp is getting you ready to do some amazing things in the industry.
Right, that makes sense. And for those of you who are interested in the bootcamp, but maybe not at that level yet, where you're struggling with the entrance assessment, you're more than welcome to take that development course, and we'll shave that price off from the bootcamp afterwards. if you're interested in pursuing that later. So something else I wanted to toss in. Lovely. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. This one's from Shan. I can quickly answer that. How many cohorts are there each year? 2 to 3 cohorts. We've got our fall one towards spring as well. And then Jerry, any idea for the third one?
I am not sure. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But usually 2 to 3 per year. But
Perfect.
yeah, we can send that later.
Lovely, lovely. So many great questions here. So this one's from Jean or Jean. How can I apply for the scholarship bonus? Again, reach out to our admissions team. Have a conversation by September 15th. That way you can take advantage of the scholarship there. This one's from Lise. Lise was wondering, should I continue even though I have no experience with programming? Let's Jerry, we'll let you kick it off, and then we'll let Monday elaborate on it.
Yeah, I think for the bootcamp, you're gonna need to have some kind of programming experience. Otherwise, you're not gonna pass the entrance. And we assume that people are beginners, but not completely beginners. So what you should do if you have completely no experience is taking our C# course and then our XR Dev course. And if you like it, it's something you wanna keep doing, you can then use what you pay towards the tuition of the bootcamp and continue learning. But if you have zero programming experience, the bootcamp is not the right fit. You need to learn a little bit. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. If you've never seen a programming language, if you've never seen C# in your life, never wrote a line of code, I would recommend taking the other courses first. And if you like it, then more than welcome to start the bootcamp.
Yep.
You agree as well, Monday, hey?
Oh yeah, definitely agree. And really that just goes into like setting yourself up for success. The XR Dev course is exactly what Jerry says. It's geared towards beginners. It takes more time to like ease you into it. And yeah, it would be very daunting and scary to jump into the boot camp without understanding the language. That's like walking into advanced German and you've never done a German course before. Like you are going to be lost and it's just going to be a struggle to catch up.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And then we have one, Nick, that kind of riffs off of this. How deep should the programming knowledge be? Hopefully that answered your question, Nick. And then how do we take the qualifying exam prior to committing to the course cost? So, you won't have to, pay or, confirm your registration at the end of the course until you go through all the steps there. So you'll have that qualifying exam or entrance assessment on hand before the interview and before actually committing to the program there. So hopefully that helps, Nick. Great question. This one's from Eamon, and Eamon's asking, is the program fast-paced? I always need longer time than others. I think deeply about everything, and keeping up with the speed is always a challenge for me. What do you guys think?
I can answer first. Yeah.
Yeah. So the program in itself, I will say it is fast paced. There's a lot of information to cover in 24 weeks. Even though it feels like a lot, it goes by fast. Like it blows my mind how far into it we are currently. The good part about that is everything is recorded. So you can always, what I always kind of like advise people in like my student ambassador hat is, even if you know that you're going to need more time, you want to be able to pause it, going to the live sessions is always invaluable because you'll be able to ask questions. You'll be able to participate in the chat. If you have questions in the moment, the instructor's right there. You don't have to wait for like a one-on-one or an office hour. So go to the live sessions, but then always know that it's recorded. So even if you go and something didn't make sense, like as soon as the live session is over, usually about like an hour later, that recording is up. So you can go back, you can pause things. The other thing about the bootcamp is the instructors always do a good job of having additional documentation that you can read. So if their session for the day is talking about object pooling, and it's at the top of my head because that was one of the ones I struggled with, you could always go back to like that Unity documentation that they have linked right in your portal as well. So there's always additional reading. There's always like little quizzes that they do or challenges to help reinforce things. So it is fast paced in essence, but like definitely meant for you to kind of go back and refresh yourself by having those recordings and that documentation always available.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just to add to that, yeah, I agree 100% with everything Monday said. It's fast paced, but there are resources out there. Another thing that we want everyone to be successful. We don't have like the main goal of putting this program together is that people have the skills and they can get the jobs in there. So we're gonna do everything we can to make sure you are not falling behind. So we have lots of structures in place. We have learning accommodation. So if you need more time for some reason, we can provide support, extra support, additional support. So it's fast paced, but we make sure we provide all of the resources you need to get there. And like even what you described, like of needing longer to learn and think deeply about everything, those are skills that we learn. Like for some things we need to think deeply, for other things we don't have time for that. That's like something we need to balance in our career too. So even the career sessions, the coaching helps with that. Like, why are you overthinking things that you should not be? And it's natural, but we can help not only with the technical things, but also like identifying why you're overthinking things that sometimes don't need to be. But it's fast paced, but we have resources in place to help.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hopefully that helped answer your question there. This one's from Mahmoud, briefly asking, is there a full-time version of the bootcamp in the works or currently available? Not at the moment, Mahmoud. This is quite an intensive course already, but if it does come up, we'll be sure to let you know. Thanks for the question. Let's see what else we've got here. This one's for Monday. Monday, compared to the XR course, how has your progression been in C# in the bootcamp?
Oh wow. So yeah, so I guess going back to XR Dev, so I am like most people. I didn't have any experience in C sharp, so I was completely lost until like week 5. So putting that into perspective, XR Dev is just a 10-week course, so I didn't even like understand what like my instructor at the time, Ozzy, was like truly talking about until 5 weeks in. But then something just clicked, and I was just like, I understand C sharp. Like I was reading it like it was a book. The interactions made sense, so it did take time. So I think when I left the XR Dev, like the coolest thing that I was able to do was I was finally able to get to the point where I could do like kind of doing like a game scenario where I could like have scores, have level design, and everything kind of like interacted with like C sharp code that I like built myself. And then looking at the boot camp, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but that project was pretty awesome. Even I was like smiling when I was watching that video again. And so 90% of that project is like original scripting. So that's all us doing like that original C sharp interactions, whether it was like particle effects or enemy AI, navigation, weapon design. I really got into VR rigging. So one of the things that I don't like about VR is typically you only see like a body or a head or just like floating hands. I always wanted to see the full thing. And so I've really focused on animation rigging and inverse kinematics and building my own rigs using C sharp, which if anybody's done inverse kinematics, it's kind of like the dark hole of VR. Like nobody wants to touch it. But in the boot camp, I was able to like learn more about like how C sharp works, how to optimize C sharp to make a lot of that easier. So instead of having like 300 lines of code because I want 300 enemy AI elements in a game, I have 3 lines of code that generates 300 enemies like off scene in this pool that just like procedurally generate based off of different interactions and like listener effects. So yes, my progress, that was a long way to say like I definitely think like I've advanced from like I know what C sharp is to like, hey, I know how to speak C sharp and I'm kind of fluent in it. And the boot camp was definitely able to help that because you talk about like refactoring and optimization so much. Like it's almost the end of every session is like, okay, now remember to optimize this, remember to optimize this. And going into like AAA games or even game development, it's all about optimization. Like nobody wants messy code that's super cumbersome.
Right. Great question, Albert, and thanks for sharing that, Monday.
Yeah.
There's one from Karen here, and I'll quickly touch up on it. Karen joined late, but just wanted to confirm that there is only one boot camp and with 2 courses. So there's one boot camp that we offer, the 24-week boot camp, Unity Developer Bootcamp. And then there's 2 other courses we have as well, 10-week courses, the XR development with Unity and the interaction design and prototyping with XR. So development and design, 10-week courses. Those are the two other ones. And then the 24-week intensive career-focused bootcamp. Karen, we will send the recording as well later on and an email afterwards with more information. So no worries if you joined late. Let's see what else we got here. So this one's from Jacob. Jacob's asking, while doing some of the projects, are students provided with prefabs or do we create the prefabs from scratch?
It depends a little bit on the module, but in many of them, we're going to provide. We're going to provide because we are focusing on the developing aspects, not on the artistic sides of things most of the time. So we're going to provide assets, we're going to provide prefabs, we're going to provide templates, things that you can just extend from there. Yeah, I think that's it. And then for the capstone project, that's on you. You can decide to buy assets, get free assets, build the assets if you can make that on time. But we provide resources most of the times.
Lovely, lovely. Great question, Jacob. Let us know if there's anything else we can answer for you. This one's from Ariel. She's wondering, can you take the assessment more than once? Not that I'm planning on failing the first time. Yes, you are able to, unless, correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think there is a limitation. It's not like forever because it doesn't make sense. If you're not passing, you're not passing. We're going to recommend other paths. But yeah, say, for example, you got like 9, you're distracted, you're not in a good day. Of course, you can take that again.
Yeah. So yeah, you are able to take it a couple of times, few times, if I'm not mistaken. But great question, Ariel. Hopefully that helped. Let's see. Erica's asking, what if I'm interested in the scholarship, but think I need to participate in another cohort? Erica, great question. I'd say, reach out to the admissions team. And, we are super flexible here at Circuit Stream. So I'm sure we can figure something out and, honor something later on for you. So I'd suggest, reach out to the admissions team. We will send that email afterwards. And, we're happy to work with you and support you any way possible. Great question, Erica. Thanks. This one is from Travis. Travis is asking, my boss signed me up for this event. I'm designing a VR training program for chemical operators for a pharmaceutical manufacturer. I have about 5 years experience already in Unity. Is this something that can benefit me or is this geared more towards beginners? Great question, Travis. Jerry, what do you think?
That's a hard question to answer because initially we would think like, oh, it has like 5 years of experience. Maybe this course is not for them. But it depends. It depends on the knowledge you have of Unity. Maybe you're using the same systems every day and you don't know like everything about it. Maybe you don't have experience integrating APIs and databases and you want to do like a more complex VR training simulation program or VR training program simulator that needs to store data, authenticate users. So it depends. I always think there is a lot to learn. Like I would take the program myself if I haven't helped craft it because and the interactions with people, the projects you get together, the soft skills there. So I'm assuming you have a job because you're saying boss. But there are like soft skills that can help you work better with your boss and negotiate and get more resources and get more time and get more projects done. So I believe there is still value looking into that. It's geared toward beginners, not complete beginners, but I think there's lots of knowledge depending on the experiences you had, you're gonna still get from the course. But I would recommend that you talk to someone into the team, that you look into the syllabus, that you see if the modules are things you're interested in or not. Maybe if this course is not for you, you could take XR Dev. That's going to give you have like experience designing VR already, but maybe the XR Dev is going to give you different tools, different methodologies. Maybe you don't know how to use the XR Interaction Toolkit and you can get it from there. So I think even for people that have experiences, there's always something to learn, but of course you need to check it in detail and see if it makes sense to you.
Yeah, I'd also recommend, Travis, reach out to some of our admissions team. We've got a lot of different ways we could support your, learning needs and objectives and goals as well. So, reach out to us and we'll figure something out for you. Then we've got one from I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Rowan or Rowan. Does the course cover how new devs would or should approach an existing project? A lot of boot camps teach how to build projects from scratch, but not how to read and understand existing code in order to build new features and fix bugs. Does the course help build those skill sets?
I'll leave that to Monday. He's experienced the course now. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, I think so the course doesn't have like a module specifically set up to like, hey, fix somebody's messy code at all. But I think going through the boot camp and going through XR Dev kind of started the process, but going through the boot camp has really helped with the process in understanding code, understanding project builds, interactions, different elements that like even without knowing what somebody's trying to do, if I see this in somebody's project and then I see this script attached to it, I know what those two elements do together. So therefore, I know what I should be looking for in that code. And they do, the bootcamp does focus more on like debugging and logs. Like right now, we're in like the optimization phase towards like the end of the bootcamp, and it's so much focused on like optimization, debugging, logs, does your project work? That a lot of those bugs, if anybody's used like the Unity editor, it comes up in the console. So it teaches you how to understand like what those console warnings and error messages actually mean and how to dive into like your code or different elements of your project to then fix those things specifically, instead of just like going back to like my old method of clicking around until everything decides to like play nice with each other. So it doesn't directly fix it. It doesn't directly address like how to do code fixes, but with the knowledge you gain throughout the boot camp, you'll be able to look at like really anybody's project. And that kind of goes into like the collaboration aspect. So as we're collaborating and pushing things back and forth through like GitHub and Fork, like people program differently and people build projects differently. So by going through the boot camp and collaborating with people, you know what to look for and just focusing on like those key elements that really help a project run.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Money. And great question. I, always curious about that myself. So good. Always learn something on these presentations here. Let's see what else we got. There are, I think, several more to get to. Monday, Jerry, how are you guys on time?
I do have a hard stop in about 4 minutes at the
Okay.
half hour. So I apologize.
Anything addressed to you, Monday? So this one's for you, Monday, and I'll just pop it up, and then you're free to hop off. This one's from Steve. He's like to ask you, I just realized you're still in the program. Did you land the role with Bungie mid-program, or did you receive that position prior to doing Circuit Stream? Apologies if this was answered already.
So yeah, I got my job with Bungie in the downtime that I had between taking XR Dev and starting the boot camp. So my goal initially was to go through the boot camp to get the job, and really focus on like the career session and like go head first into like the career labs. But opportunity presented itself like right at that downtime. So I was able to leverage, my past management experience and training, as well as the knowledge that I got on Unity development and game design from XR Dev to get the role with Bungie that I have. But I made the decision to stay in the boot camp because, like Jerry was saying, like there's always more to learn. And so I knew I wanted to build up my personal brand, my personal portfolio, which the career workshops were still going to help with. And I was still fairly new. And now I was in an industry that I had never been in before. So coming from hospitals, pharmaceuticals, and biology and chemistry and project management, I had never touched gaming before. So going through the boot camp really gave me the knowledge that I needed to understand more of the language that like the engineers and the product owners that report up to me speak. So that way I could manage them effectively. So it's been a great tool for me still. But yeah, I got this role like I think like maybe 3 or 4 days before the boot camp started is when I accepted my role with Bungie.
And to quickly riff off of that, Monday, there's one question here from Lola. Is the pacing and workload of the bootcamp sustainable with a full-time job?
So it's sustainable, but you do have to make it a priority. So it is 2.5 hours, 2 days a week, plus the live session on Saturday. So it is a time commitment. So one of the questions that we had before is like, would there be like a full-time bootcamp option? Kind of made me get like queasy just a little bit because I'm like, that's a lot of time, like especially if you have a career. But it is doable, and the sessions are recorded. There's no circuit stream kind of like police making sure that you're always there. Like we all have lives, we all have jobs, things happen, and that's why things are recorded, and that's why we have like the Discord community that you can reach out to and be proactive about. So pacing and workload wise, it's definitely doable if you make it doable and if you are mindful of your time and prioritize well. And then if things happen, just reach out. I mean, everybody that I've talked to with CircuitStream has been super nice. You could also reach out to the student ambassadors, which is a shameless plug to me and Diana. We're always open to help out as well. But it's definitely doable.
Monday, as always, thank you so much for helping with the Q&A and joining us on this webinar and just sharing your experiences with the community.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. But I do see that you have to leave here, so thank you again for your time here today, Monday, and I'll catch you very soon.
Perfect. Thank you again for the opportunity. You all have a great one.
See you Monday.
See you soon.
Perfect. And then Jerry, we've got a couple more just to touch up on here. This one's from Jacob, and I can cover this one quickly. Jacob's asking, I'm unfamiliar with the Climb loan. Can you provide more information on that, please? I work part-time in VR technical support while pursuing my education. The monthly payment seems something that I can afford. So, Jacob, we're happy to share more with you. I did share this with our admissions team, so you may get an email to just follow up so they can share more about the loans with you. And the team's always happy to help and answer any questions you have as well. So we'll reach out to you, Jacob, or feel free to reach out to us as well. And let's wrap up with this one, Jerry. Payming is asking, Unity is deeper than the syllabus shown. Will there be more advanced skills such as Lua and Shader that we could expect to learn?
Yeah, that's a good question. Unity is really deep. Programming is really deep. There's always more to learn. I have been working with Unity almost daily for 12 years, and I don't know everything that it can do. I don't know all the packages. I'm not good at writing shaders. And what we did with the bootcamp was focusing on things that are common. Everyone needs to know those. They need to be good at those if they want to be good professionals. And for more advanced things, more specific things, we have the workshops. They're free. They're live and online that you can go and attend to. And we're planning to have more courses to complement the bootcamp. So it could be, for example, on shaders. It could be on artificial intelligence. It could be on different topics that are they're interesting, but they're not core. Not everybody needs to know shit. I worked in game development for many years, and I never wrote a shader myself. I never needed it. So those are cool things, but with the bootcamp we focus on the core. Like those are things that everyone needs to know. So yes, we are planning to have more courses, more specializations, more workshops, more content, but if it's not in the syllabus, it's not covered in the 24 weeks of the bootcamp. One thing you can do if you're interested is I'm talking about shader that there's no shader, but yeah, there's one lab on shaders though. So we use the labs to bring some interesting content in there. And if there's something that is not covered in the labs, but you are interested to learn more about, you can always book a one-on-one and talk to an instructor that knows about that and get some guidance, some direction. So yeah, that's the middle ground. The bootcamp is going to cover the core, everything that a professional developer needs to know. And then for more specialized knowledge, we are always building more content in other forums. And we might launch new courses in the future too.
Perfect. And then I see Anne's chat is a specific question someone else has. You respond live. Okay, perfect. So there's one that we didn't respond live, but it was answered with a typing. It looks like this one was from Ann Casper. Are any of the instructors women?
Oh, yeah.
If so, who are they and where do they work as developers now? So we do. Yeah, Jerry, feel free to answer
thanks.
There.
Yeah, someone answered that there, but we do have women in the team of instructors. And for the bootcamp specifically, the lead instructor is Nikisa, which is amazing. She's super cool, super knowledgeable. Currently, she's working for what's Masterpiece Studios, which is a VR company doing VR projects, super cool stuff. They They have a tool which is kind of like a modeling animation rigging tool in VR. They work closely with Meta. So the instructors all have professional experience, and we do have women in the team. In the design team, we have Alita, we have Sandra, and we're always looking to have more people there. So yes, we do have women in the team. And for the bootcamp specifically, Nikisa is the lead instructor. Things can change if you have more cohorts, but there is a high chance to get her in your classes there.
Awesome. Hopefully that helped there. But with that, just so we don't take too much time out of everyone's day here today, wanted to thank you all for sticking around this webinar and bootcamp launch event. I hope it gave you a little bit more information on the course itself, the industry as well. Why should you pursue and learn these skills, and what could you look forward to do later on. Again, we will be sending an email afterwards with the recording, more information, a link to speak to an admissions advisor, friendly conversation. But with that, I will thank everyone again for joining us. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning for some of you who are tuning in from abroad. And Jerry, thank you for your time here today and insights.
Thanks, everyone. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day there.
Thanks again, everyone. Hope to see you again. Bye.
Bye-bye.